Alright, so this machine has an interesting backstory, at least to me, to it. So this canister is the Bissell DigiPro. This is a machine that is designed and built by Samsung for Bissell, like quite a few of their machines are. In fact, you can even find, I don't remember what the model name is, but I'm pretty sure the Samsung version of this is a metallic blue. This has been listed as discontinued and no longer available by Bissell for quite a while now. Bed Bath & Beyond was the only in-store place that had carried this for quite a while. And it had been just sitting there. I mean, these had been sitting for a long while at my local Bed Bath & Beyond at what their reduced sticker was. When these, from what I can tell, this machine is honestly at least 10 years old. Because if you go online and download Bissell's PDF manual for this, it's time and date stamped, and the date stamp is from sometime, I think it's 8/24 or something like that, of 2005. Now, I had always wanted one of these machines. About the time that I found out about this machine, I had also found out about Miele. So, I really wanted a Miele Aquarius, but at $1,000, I think is about what those ran for. That was definitely not possible. So, I looked at this, and this, at least in canisters at the time that were low cost, had about as many of the features that the Miele had as you could get in something like this. Like, it's got not only electronic variable suction and a power head, but it has automatic variable power. So it's got, I think it's just an acoustic dirt sensor that when things hit it, it automatically turns the suction up and then turns it back down later. They include 12 bags with this, amazingly. I've never really seen any, I mean, I've seen extra bag deals, like the one Panasonic I had gave me 6, but I've never seen 12 included in a pack. And then here's the machine. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, that's everything. Here's the thing with this machine. I walked in to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I had been thinking about this machine, because like I said, I'd wanted it for a long time. It had been sitting at Bed Bath & Beyond for a long time as well, with no one buying them. And I'm just going to push that to the side. And I took a closer look at it when I was there, and they had marked it down. They were selling it for the longest time at $229. They had 2 boxes left and the display model that had been beat to hell over a number of years. And so what I did, oh no, that's cool. Instead of having to buy, like, if you're storing your machine for a Miele, you have to, well, don't have to, but if you want to, you can buy a little cover so you can seal this off. It's integrated in this machine. But either way, they had marked it down to $149.99, and I had a 20% off coupon that they took, even though this was already discounted. So that brought the price down, and I think I walked out of it with tax for like $128 something. And I think these were, if I remember correctly, back in the day, up in like the 300s. They were a fairly popular canister back then because they were one of the few that you could get things outside of Miele's, the very high-end machines, that you could get things like the variable, the electronic suction control that were bagged and had HEPA filters. So you have a washable, amazingly, HEPA, which, I mean, this isn't bad. It's actually, that's encased in plastic. That's not like cardboard or anything. Still not Miele quality, but for the price that this machine is, its only real drawback is the fact that there's no hard floor tool, and I don't think you can get one. That's about it. Oh, there we go. Oh. Give me 1 second while I try and get this back in. Alright, so that's back in. Then you've got a plastic filter guard, a lot like on Miele 2, with a pre-motor filter. And unlike Miele, you have these ridiculous... This is why they give you 12. Let me unfold this a bit more. But you get these ridiculously tiny bags. I didn't realize... I looked at it in the store, but I didn't realize they were quite that small. But either way, 12 of them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping this machine. I bought this kind of on a whim because it's something I have always wanted to try. And I wanted to get this up and demo it for you guys because there's no videos of this online. There's some crappy BS sales slideshow type thing that someone put up online, but outside of that, nothing. So here's the tool compartment. It actually holds open amazingly. You get this little crevice tool that just sits loosely in here. Dusting brush that also sits loosely. I'm kind of disappointed. These felt a lot softer in the store, but I'm guessing it's just from wear and people using it over many years in the store. They're not horribly stiff. It's just nothing really nice. And then this well-designed looking but incredibly tiny upholstery tool. I find it funny, people complain about how Miele tools are toys. This is what a toy looks like. But all fits on board, bag check indicator. So there's not probably going to be a review of this. At best, if this stays with me, it's going to my grandparents to clean. But I will demo it and give it like a first impression now. So, this is the machine, as you can tell. I'm really kind of surprised at how nice looking it is. The one in the display in the store was obviously beat, but I wasn't expecting it to look quite this nice. And then you have the variable system, which honestly looks quite a bit. It's reminiscent, at least on the logos, of Miele. Got a little plastic cover here if I can get it off. There we go. Alright. So, it's got just on drapes, which I'm guessing is delicates, an economy mode, the carpet mode, and then auto. So you've got plus and minus in these little buttons, an auto button, cord rewind, and main power. So, get your extra bags with this, the 12 extra bags. I'm not sure if there are 11 in here and 1 in the machine, or 1 in the machine and then actually 12 in that. So here's the power nozzle. I'm going to have to slip this out. Alright. Now this is an interesting power nozzle, to say the least. There we go. So it has no foot release. It just kind of clicks up. I'm not a big fan of that. It does amazingly have height adjustment. No smart belt or tracked belt system at all. So, the interesting thing with this, though, most interesting, at least to me when I picked it up in the store, is when you look at the brush roll, it's got raised ridges. Granted, they're wider, but it looks like an Elite brush roll. If you made an Elite brush roll in a chevron style, this would be it. And these bristles are ridiculously stiff. I've never seen anything with bristles this stiff, to be quite honest. I mean, even the Ricars with their and Simplicities with the stiffest bristles, they're not that stiff. So now, wait a second. Oh, there we go. So you've also got a telescopic wand. Pull on the collar and go up, like a lot of machines. And then you've got your hose. So let me set the camera down and pull this out of its bags. Alright, so got the hose, and the hose, from what I saw in the store, is pretty finicky about being put in one specific way. Okay, so that should... Oh, this is the other thing that really throws me off and that I don't like about this power nozzle. When it's even in the upright position, it still swivels all around. It just does whatever it feels like. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But there we go. So, you do have direct connect throughout the entire system. Here's your brush roll on-off. And there's this odd little suction control thing. It's why they thought you needed that in addition to the electric controls on the body, I don't know. But literally all it is there's... I don't know if you'll actually be able to see that well at all. But when you slide it to open, yeah, I think you guys can see that. There's just a little open hole through this little switch that lets air through. Close just closes it off with the switch. No quick disconnect on any of this, so depends on what you're doing, but it's not as convenient as even like the cheap Kenmore that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and do kind of a quick demo, and I'll probably let you know by then whether or not I'm actually going to keep this machine, because I'm still on the fence. I bought it last night, and over the night I kind of just completely lost interest in it. I mean, I wanted to make the video and I want to try it because, again, it's kind of a childhood machine that I've always wanted, but I don't know. Especially with these things have an absolutely horrendous reliability record. I mean, hoses ripping completely out of both ends and power head failures, all kinds of things. But for the price that I got this at, I couldn't resist. I had to at least take it home and try it. So, give me a second and I'll have all this cleaned up and be back. Alright, so just before I plug this in, this kind of speaks to, because this machine has always seemed like kind of a random hodgepodge of parts and engineering hobbled together, especially with how much it tried to, for the time, be a Miele competitor. Like the cheap Miele competitors, the knockoffs, basically. Now this is a canister with cord rewind, but it has a molded plug with a clip in it, like you would use to clip on something that you actually have to wind the cord up on. So, I find that a bit, I don't know, odd, cheap, I guess would be the best way to say it. And this power nozzle is already annoying me. Every time you lift it up, it just twists to the right. Every time. I think I'd rather not have swivel. And in Bissell's usual, they have massive amounts of floor height adjustments. So what we're going to do, brush is off. So it starts on the economy mode. So that's all the way down. That's on the delicates. That's on economy. That's carpet, I guess. And you can't access auto with these buttons. And you can't go any higher or lower. But if you hit auto, it returns to, I think that sounds like economy. And then, as it encounters dirt, oh, that's really nice. Oh, there we go. Thought the power nozzle wasn't going to work for a minute. Let me lower this a bit more. This wasn't actually making contact with the carpeting. Alright. Give me 1 second to put you down. Alright, so, overall impressions, this is absolutely horrible, and that's really kind of a disappointment to me, because I was hoping I would be pleasantly surprised with this machine, and I would keep it around, because, like, the idea of this, the color, the electronic auto controls, I have always loved this machine. Like, this part is relatively fine. For a canister, it's got really crappy airflow. Like, I'm amazed by... Let me put it this way. The Sanyo Transformax, in my opinion, which is a tiny, tiny little machine, more air flows through that than does this thing. So, this power nozzle, at first, you think it's going to be great. And in fact, if you just set it down on the carpet and you don't move it, it actually makes nice contact with the carpeting. And then you move it. And what happens is it really doesn't keep contact all that well, even if you have the suction all the way up off the auto mode. I cleaned up cat litter that was on the carpet. That wasn't enough to trigger the auto setting to go up, so I really don't know if that would ever actually be something practical that works in a home. And while this brush roll is impressive looking, I think it's in the wrong nozzle, and the amount of hair that it got wrapped around it in about 5 seconds. But apparently this thing agitated well enough, unless that's just from static electricity. So I will get the tools out. I am impressed with how relatively well built this machine is for what it is and what I paid for it. I mean, even at $229, this is not a badly built canister, but I would say in every regard, if you're going to spend $220 on a canister, go on to Walmart.com, buy an Electrolux Ultra Active. That model comes with, you know, a bare floor tool and a electrified mini power nozzle for doing your upholstery and stairs and everything else. So there's the tiny little dusting brush. These really are toys. If you ever want to call other upholstery attachments for other machines toys, please come look at these first, because I've almost never seen things that tiny. Other canisters I have, but... And it does swivel 360, kind of like the old Mila's used to at the machine end. So it's also like the Mila's in the fact it always starts on economy. And the most disturbing thing is this has been running for just a couple minutes and it's already running really, really warm. So, see, I'm still torn on this machine, because I really do like it. Well, I wish I could like it. Let me see something. Yeah, it just has really, really poor airflow. Oh, that's great. So you can see straight into this bag. It did pick up a little bit of grit cat hair. It already lost a seal from somewhere. That little black piece that you see in there, that's not off the floor. Where that came off on this machine, I have no idea. I mean, like I said, I really wanted to like this machine. I really wanted to bring this home and be impressed with this, especially after, you know, being happy getting it at a great price for something that like this that I've pretty much always wanted, but this isn't going to stay. I would absolutely love to keep this thing just as like a collector's item, because a lot of these over the years have just been tossed because they've fallen apart quite literally. It's a pretty machine, but it's next to useless. This wouldn't be a bad attachment machine and bare floor machine if it actually had a bare floor tool, and I mean, this is not a standard fitting, I don't think. So I'm doubting you could just go out and grab a normal one. But I'll be right back. Alright. So, yeah. I love this machine. It looks cool. I've always wanted to try one. Tried it now. Really disappointed. I mean, this has a lot of intelligent features on it, especially for the price point and how old this machine is, that I am impressed with. I mean, the digital controls that really, I can't think of anything around the time frame of other machines that had it other than the Milas that this was basically trying to knock off. It's more square like, what was that, the 700 series Milas? The old FJM canisters? But, I mean, just little touches like this built-in slide to close off the bag opening if you want it for storage. It's got this nice integrated little latch for the bag door compartment. The fact that this tool door actually stays open and that this HEPA filter is washable. Overall, like I said, it's nice, but it's going back. It's probably going back today, in fact. Because it cleans horribly. I have never... Oh, and look, the tool door is already out of alignment. That took all of 5 seconds. There we go. Yeah. So, bottom line, basic machine... Well, basic. Beautiful machine. I love the idea. But this is really, really bad. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to include this made in Korea. Okay then. At least it's not China. I'm going to include this, and I'm guessing that's the serial number. If anyone knows how to date one of these, please let me know, because I would like to know how long this machine has been sitting on the shelf at Bed Bath & Beyond. I know that since I've seen them there, since I started going there more regularly, it's been at least a year, I think, by now. And they just remodeled the store. That was the only reason why I even went, looked, saw this thing, saw it marked down. I mean, they don't even list it on their website anymore unless you find the like archived page that they leave up. So this has been long and rambly, but I actually wanted something on this machine before they effectively all died off. Let me just see how the cord rewind functions. That'll probably be crap too. But let's see. Yeah, crap. So every little kink screws it up. My Miele, my Dyson, just about everything other than the Kenmore that I have, which the Kenmore is pretty much as old as this thing is, but it's actually seen daily use, so the Kenmore has a bit of an excuse. So, final thoughts on DigiPro: a really old and now discontinued for good reason Miele knockoff. The saddest thing is this, at the end of the day, I don't know how long people will be able to find bags for it. Because this is one of those machines, like when it was out, it had a pretty big height of popularity because you couldn't really find the features that were in this anywhere else. And then people started having tons of problems, so people stopped buying it. And then the people that did have it, they got sick of repairing it. So these machines kind of just dry up like that. Once I return this, it'll go back to Bissell for God knows what. It's not like there's a refurbished stock of these somewhere. It'll probably just get trashed or something. And then there's one more left at my local Bed Bath & Beyond and the display model. So once those are gone, I'm guessing that's probably the last store stock of these that people will see. So, all in all, it was interesting. I'm glad I got to get it and at least see. I'm still torn on it. I wish I didn't have to return it, but like I said, there are machines I would much rather have than this. This is quite literally, I think, even for a collector, a waste of space. It's just... there are so many things wrong with it that could be corrected so easily, and that's the saddest thing. Because the machine itself, it's not a bad idea, it's just executed poorly. It has poor airflow, the hoses are too weak, and honestly too short too, and they break all the time. That power head is just a mess. I can't imagine that working well on any carpet, and it's disappointing because the brush roll in it is pretty damn good. So, there you go. That's my thoughts on that. So, this will probably be the first time and the last time most of you see anything about this machine. So, yeah, I'm going to pack this up and take it back to the store.